Hey guys, welcome to our interview series with Patty Stevenson. And I know it says Johnson on there, I think, but we like to confuse everyone. So this is our interview series, and we love to tell different stories about some of our favorite clients. And because Patty's been with us for 3 years, are we on 3 years yet?
Almost.
Almost. What's our anniversary? Beginning of the year?
Yeah, it's right at the beginning of the year.
January. I think Kristen is February or beginning of March, but were you there before Kristen?
Yeah, I came right like at the end of November, but then the holidays were happening and it kind of, I don't know, we had some rainy days and things, and I really actually started into January. So
Okay.
kind of,
That's interesting. It's like, it's been a while, so I'm like,
it's,
some of the classes run together. I'm like, I'm gonna be surprised at some of the answers here. So, like, let's see. Oh, now I got Facebook on. So we'll see if anybody's with us. Oh, Bonnie's with us. Is that your
my
sister?
sister. Yeah.
Sister. Okay, is she the one that was with us at Mike's
Yes,
concert?
yes, she
Okay.
came to the
Love her. Love her. You have a few sisters, so I want to make sure I'm getting them all in the right line. Okay. Yes, she was awesome.
Yeah,
Very fun. Very
yeah.
fun. Okay, so we'll start off with our classic first question. So what brought you to Everyday Canine? What made you find us? And
Well,
how did you find us?
my ex-son-in-law, which I stayed very tight with because of my granddaughter, and he's very close. I run back and forth or live very close. And I would usually put Two Paws, my black lab husky, in the car with me when I would come to pick up Emma. And he's seen him running from the front to the back to the side to the side, and he was, just everywhere, and I was fighting to hold him down. And Cody was nice enough to tell me about you, that he knew of you and knew that you work with dogs. So it was more just your personality that he knew, not really your technical skills
I
or
was his bartender. Yeah,
yes,
I
I
was.
know. I know. But they spoke so highly of you, and he's like, I know you would just like click right away with her because
I love Cody and Lisa, man. Yeah,
yeah,
there
there's,
was yeah,
there's
I really liked them. So when I heard that, I think they reached out. I think Lisa reached out to me and told me that you were coming, and I was like, okay, okay. And then I didn't know what surprise I was having because you're just my favorite. You are
oh,
just my favorite. And then, so if everybody doesn't know, Emma is Patty's granddaughter, and she's the little one you might see at class a lot. Everybody knows Emma, that's in the tribe and in the club even now. And if you don't know, so we know who this is right away. If you've seen the post for the 100th birthday walk for her name is Emma, that's Patty's mom. So Emma is named after grandma, and that is the 100 walk. So now you can put a face with the 100 walk, and why it's so special to us, because Patty is just very special to us. The whole family, because mom comes out to class. She hasn't been in a little while, but she used to come to class and visit and walk with us and peck walks. And yeah, that's
she
my favorite.
she loves you guys. She loves watching the dogs. I mean, that was like really big for her to be able to come out and interact. And you've always made her feel so welcome. Everyone there has made her feel so welcome. So she
Oh, I
really
love her. I
She
love
really
her.
loved it. And little Emma Jr., same thing. She loves you guys. And
Oh,
when you show her the attention and the love that you've
she's
shown her,
she's wonderful. I mean, my goodness, my goodness. I'm like, keep me away from that girl. Both of them. They're really cute. Because I mean, I love kids, and especially well-mannered kids that are, Emma is just too much, man. She's just my favorite. And then I have a very weak spot for grandmas. I had the best 2 grandmas in the world, and then I get to have an extra grandma with Emma, so that's very special to me too. Yeah.
And they both consider you family because my mama just loves you and can't, like, she watches your videos and watches your Facebook and
Oh, yay.
see all your pictures all the time, and she follows you very
Oh,
tightly. So you make her day.
yay. And she can't see this until after the walk we, because we're talking about it obviously, but I got our picture of mom and two paws. It came
Good.
the other day. So we got a canvas art of it, and then we're gonna get something in the back. And I think Ash, because she said she's got nice handwriting, because it ain't gonna be me, that's for sure. Is gonna write something nice from Everyday Canine, and we're all gonna sign it and give
That's
that
so
to her.
special.
Did you guys start your 100-day
Oh yeah, yeah. It
present?
started. It
Okay.
started about mid-October. We do a present a day for every day until her 100th birthday, which is January 19th. So we're about, we got about 3 weeks yet of presents, but every day she has a present from someone, grandchildren, great grandchildren. It may
Yes.
be a picture that they've drawn. It may be a nice gift. It may be, they're all
Yeah.
nice gifts. It's just the point of people from Pennsylvania. I mean, every day I come home and there's an Amazon package at my door from somebody to get to her. And we wrap them and we put their names
Oh,
on
that's so
it.
wonderful. Well, we'll get
Yeah.
ours together this week
Oh,
and get it out to her because I'd like her to have it way before the walk. So, oh yay.
she's
Maybe we can get it
become,
before Christmas. I have it, so we'll get it to her before Christmas.
oh,
We'll figure it out.
that,
Oh, yay.
that means
Okay,
so much.
so
Yeah.
where were we? We got into important business,
I know. I'm
demo
sorry.
that I love, so that had to come first. Okay, so Cody and Lisa, they reached out to me, and yeah, I'd known them for, I don't know, a few years because they would come in, after work or something and eat and
Yeah.
have a drink. And yeah, I just love them. And when you're a bartender or a server, you don't love everyone. You you might not know that, you know what I mean? They don't know that, but I really like them for real,
Yeah.
not just lying. A server like you. Julie says hi, Patty. Kristen says
Yeah.
hi. She's on. Ash is on. Up,
Yeah.
Jessica's on. We got all sorts of family on. Yay!
Oh, yeah.
So, um, remind me of what it was like when you first came out to your first class. Were you
Um,
nervous?
Pretty much chaos. I was a little hesitant. I really started a class a year ahead of time. By the time I got to you, two class was already, well, just turned a year
Yeah.
and
Was it a
totally out of
year?
control. Totally out of control. He was pulling, jumping was a hard thing. And he's, an 80, 90 pound dog. So when he jumps on you, it's not just like, oh no, get down. It was hurtful. And I was afraid he was going to knock somebody down, push one of
Yeah.
the kids down. I have grandchildren that come over next door, all the time, and little ones. And I just was worried that I wasn't going to be able to handle him. Maybe I wasn't built to take care of him at this point in my life. I'm not a youngster myself.
Mm. And
So,
he's a big lab. I think he's got some husky in him, right? Or something
yeah,
too?
yeah,
So
lust.
he looks like a big chocolate or a big black lab,
Yeah,
but he's beefy, and
yeah,
then he's got some feistiness of a husky in there. So um, he's a lot. So it's hard for people to realize how much work you have done and what it looked like when you walked in, because it can be embarrassing to come to a class and your dog is acting like an idiot. They're just all over the place, and they're not acting like an idiot, they're acting like a dog, but they're not acting like all the other dogs that are just sitting there doing nothing, which is your goal, right? So it's very intimidating to be the odd man out with the dog that's nuts, and now they see you just kind of in the class doing all the things. You're in the tribe, and the tribe is like an alumni class, so they've already been through everything, and now it's just continued education. um and we keep kind of just digging and tweaking and doing little things and learning because there's so much to learn. I don't even know what I'm going to teach you most weeks. I'm just like, who's here? Okay, what do you want to learn? Let's do that, and
And I
once
think
we get
that's the
into that
best
level,
part. It's not like you have a structured agenda that you have to follow
yeah,
and and you expect something out of everybody, but you don't. And that was honestly the only reason I kept coming, is because there was no judgment. There was no somebody looking at you like, will you get that idiot dog out of here? They all, they've all been it through before. Nobody judged me. Nobody was like, for Pete's sakes, when is she gonna get this
how
dog?
long is it going to take you to get that dog under control? And people that think like that have never had a struggle with their dog. They've never had a pain point that has made it, man, I got to do this or I'm going to lose my dog. Not, I got to do this or my dog is going to annoy people,
No,
you
it
know?
seriously down to, I don't know if I can handle this any, at the rate he was going and his intensity. He was very, very, I don't
It
know if
was
you remember
wild.
the
I
first day
forgot.
he was just pulling me and you like looked at me and you're like, oh, he must be Patty. I was like, got it.
You
Me
know how many people, well, you see it now when we're standing in class and then the new person because they're getting drug across the whole park. And we're all standing there like they're coming for us. That one's coming for us. Yep. Yep.
absolutely.
And there's, in the beginning, I didn't know I did classes for like an addition, an additive to board and train. So I would train the dog and then hope people would come out so that I could teach them all the cool stuff that their dog learned, which took me a long time to do or learn how to do. And then, the people that would, we saw lots of good stuff, but the people that wouldn't, it would just be gone and then they'd kind of be stuck on their e-collar and they were just reliant on it, so that was a big turning point for me is really wanting to get into that area of teaching the dog to just relax and the human to slow down and relax and find better communication without needing a tool. Yes, we use tools to help us. We'll use a prong collar, we'll use the transitional leash, now called the sidekick, if I could get that into my head. And but there's tools, and I want you to be able to fluctuate between different tools and it not be about a certain tool. And you do enough work, you could just lift on the buckle collar or even just have the buckle collar, and it means the same thing because the other ones helped you build the communication and the trust and time. But I really wanted to figure out how to make group classes the way that people did it, because when I did that, it opened up so many doors and it built the relationship between you and the dog instead of me having the relationship or Chad having the relationship and then hoping that you can pick up all the things that we did. But when we do it as a group, as together, and you're involved and you're there and it's different. It's different. You had to do the repetitions it took, because I mean, seriously, we're in this little area with the dogs, right? And some of the dogs that have like big reactivity, and usually it's more aggression, right? Are way over here. And they sometimes it can feel like you're never going to get into the group. And the more you try to get into the group, the longer it's going to take you to get in the group. So if you just find a comfort zone out there, and you were way out there, way, because Patty had to back up and find the area that Two Paws settled down.
Yeah.
Yep, and it wasn't very close.
No, it took
And
him a
now
year.
you're right up in the middle, and even Rip's right up in the middle. He's doing really well. That's her next dog. That we're gonna get into that story. Um, let's see.
Yeah.
There's so many fun things about your story. We just have to find which one to talk about first. Um, so there's a turning point in your story that is my favorite to tell. And I tell in class and I tell in home sessions, I tell in new people, I tell in old people. It's anybody that'll listen. I tell this story. And if you're one of my stories, it means that I love you and you're my family. And it means that you've grown enough confidence to be a story that inspires someone else to know that they can do it. Oh, what's Kristen saying? I remember that wild man, Lusky. Yeah. Well, Patty had to break her collarbone and get a pain point because in the beginning, her pain point was happy lab, might knock grandma down, might eat dinner off the counter, you know, things. But when she broke her collarbone, it
Life
was, if I
change.
can't wrangle this dog, I might have to give him up. So now her pain point, this is really interesting for me. I nerd out on this stuff, right? So like her pain point hit a point that was similar to me and my aggression and anybody else in our group that's got aggression. And your dog could be put down or you could lose them if you don't get your crap together. And that pain point is so powerful. I mean, I can't recreate it. And that's why we have success with reactivity. That's why we have success with aggression. That's why we have success with overexcited dogs. So Patty's pain point for her overexcited lab, which everybody's got, that's the classic dog. I'm always talking about the classic lab, the classic golden, that they're just so good that they don't have pain points that make them get their crap together, you know? It's a luxury. It's a
Yeah.
luxury that people with aggression and reactivity don't have. And we watched you, everybody in the group that was in there can vouch for this. We we watched you go from within not very long. It didn't take very long at all. You were way out there in the field, and then now you're in the middle, but all of a sudden, this lady with one arm, she got this strap, she can't even use it, she's driving with one arm. She's wrangling this lab because she had to. She had to, or she'd lose the dog. And that's not happening if you met Patty and Two Paws. Like, if you've met Patty and got to know her personality, you had to fight her for 2 paws, you know what I mean? So, she stood up and got it done, and now she's a leader, and she's been a leader for the last 2 years at least. It's been like, and then added a crazy cattle dog to the mix,
Yeah. I
which
don't,
I reamed her for, don't you worry. I'm like,
bad judgment.
You just got 2 paws in order. What are you doing?"
Bad judgment. See, it was that confidence that you gave me, overconfident in me that I could do this.
Yeah.
Your fault. No, no, it's a great
No, but you know what? You
leader.
have done amazing with
Thank
it. It wasn't that I didn't have the confidence that you could do it. It was like, I live with a cattle dog. Any of you cattle dog people out there, Haley, if you're watching, yeah, man. It's Emily.
you.
It's a whole new world, man. Whole new world.
He's a lot of energy, and I think the hard part with them too is that they're so smart. Not that Two Paws isn't smart, but he's like insanely smart that gets himself in trouble
Oh
because
yeah.
he's just too tricky with everything, and it's just. But you built a lot of calm confidence in me, so that I'm not yelling. I'm not like I know at the beginning it was like, talk louder, hear me, say it again, say it again, say it again, say it again. And I finally thought, realized that I don't want to be Johnny put it down, Johnny put it down, Johnny put it down, Johnny put it down. I want to be, that's enough. Come on, like, no. So that's, you built that into, I think you try to build that into all of us, that it's just a calm confidence. It's not a, I said, sit, sit. I don't want to do that all of my life. I can't do that. I've raised my kids. I don't want to do that anymore.
And that's a good loophole, is like people have raised their kids. They have to be that way with their kids and family and humans, and we don't want to be that way with our dogs. It doesn't, we don't want to have to. So if we change our perspective of it, we can have a totally different life with our dogs just by having some simple boundaries, that I never thought of. I didn't know. We had our house was free for all. Dogs rule, don't move the dog off the couch, different little stuff like that. It was like, yeah, and, my dogs sleep on the couch, and after we have a smaller pack, it's not that dogs won't be on the couch, it's having standards. Did I invite them? Do they have manners? Are they being a jerk in other areas? Like, the couch should be a reward, not an entitlement, like
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Get off my couch, it just builds this whole and if you don't think about that, why would you? Why
Yeah.
would you even know? Yeah. Oh, that makes me happy that you feel that way.
Well, and it's people seen it so quickly. Well, Cody, the person that introduced me to you, he comes back and forth. We drop off Emma. I go there. He comes here, drops off Emma. He usually comes inside the house, makes sure Emma's all set before he doesn't just drop her off at the driveway.
He
He comes
doesn't kick her
in,
out of the door?
yeah, get out. Uh, and he came in and he's like, "Oh my God, is Tupac sick?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "What's wrong with him?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And I had him on a place cot and I had him, you're staying there. And I didn't have him in a crate because, to be honest, when people used to come over, sometimes I just put him in a crate. Like, I can't deal with that and people, and, so I would put him in a crate. Now, I'm not going to lie, when people first come, I know they're coming. I may put them in the crate in the living room. They're
Why
part of the
wouldn't
deal.
you? That's a good
And
thing.
once we've calmed down and everybody's chill, I kind of let one out. And once we get that settled, then I let the other one out. I don't want people to get jumped on. People don't want to be jumped on. I mean,
It's annoying.
it's
It's
not
annoying,
fun. It's not fun. Yeah, I
especially
want
an
to pet your
80-pound dog.
dog. Yeah, I wanted to pet your dog on my terms, not because he's in my face or jumping on my leg. Uh,
Right,
so
and if they tell you that it's not annoying, they're just being nice. Whether
seriously,
they like dogs or not. I love dogs,
I
but
know.
if your dog's jumping all over me and has no boundaries, it's more annoying than, and I seek dogs. I don't, who, this party's boring. Where's the dog? But
Yeah.
I man, if your dog's like obnoxious, it's almost like an obnoxious person. Like, man, I got dogs at home. Like, it's fine.
Your analogies are great with the children and comparing them to the kids, because that says it all. I mean, it really is the entitlement of letting them do stuff and saying, "It's okay, it's okay." Well, no, it's okay. Well, when do you say no? That's no, that's not right. And
Yeah.
I think you have taught me that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say that's not right. Like, stop. And that's hard for me. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a yes sayer. So for me to say no is pretty hard. But you have taught me a lot in life though too. Like, sorry, F it. Sorry, to the point where I'm not gonna be that anymore. And it's very good not to be that person anymore. So it's not just you trained me with my dogs, you've helped me with, hey dogs.
Hey,
Hey dogs.
I'm surprised mine are being quiet.
We're still here. But it's just helped me with everything of not letting things overwhelm me and make things, it is manageable. It is workable. You're part of the class and not being judged by people, or not worried like when you walk out that they're gonna say, "Can you believe her dog's still doing that?" Like, what is wrong with her? Why can't she get her shit together? But
Yeah,
it's huge, or else I don't think so many people are so comfortable with you because you make them feel comfortable. You make it feel, don't want it to be my life coach or my psychology class, but you make us feel that, where it's, everybody's important, everybody's got their own issues, nobody's on the same level. You might be here, this person might be there. I love that now you're kind of mixing the new with the people that have been there for a long time, because it is nice to have our own little class where we can really do some advanced stuff, and that's wonderful. But it's
yeah.
also wonderful to have a reactive dog out there, da, 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 and your dog to be like, oh, okay, it's okay, and stay down and stay in that spot. That Rip is staying down while we're having a class, and all that's going on around him is less than a miracle.
Huge,
Nothing
huge.
less than a miracle. Because
So huge, because
um,
that's the big piece that people miss is they're so busy worrying about what they need to do with their dog, what they need to do with their puppy, but what about not doing stuff? Not what how do you teach them how to be bored? When are they bored? And when do they have to find their own calmness and it's not you always finding it and it's, and because think about humans, we're boring with bits of excitement. That's it. That's it.
absolutely.
We're boring in the car when we travel. You know what I mean? We're boring when we watch TV on the couch. And when you go out and then you come back and you be boring. It's boring when you cook. It's boring when you let the dogs out. Bits of excitement. Boring when you work. We're boring. We're
Yeah.
not running around all the time like lunatics. And if you are, your dog's probably a lunatic too. If you think you're supposed to be keeping your dog busy all the time, it's like
Well,
you need to keep your
yeah.
dog busy.
Makes me feel a lot better too, because I do work out, not at home. So I'm out, and they are crated, and I don't know. Well, I grew up in Pennsylvania, and our dogs weren't out in the pen outside. They didn't. My mom would lose me for hours, and she's like, where'd she go?" And I'd just be outside in the dog pen, literally outside in the dog pen, making sure that the beagle was warm, and giving him my wool sweater because I didn't want the wool sweater, so the dog might like the itchy sweater. Here, it'll keep you warm.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just how I was growing up. I mean, it was like animals are so much more cool to hang out than people. So,
Yeah. That's mine too. Mine. We always had 4 or 5 dogs.
yeah,
And, I don't know, we'd had strays, and they always found us. We never went and got a dog. It was just found. My dad would come home with another one, and then it was like,
that's
"This is what
awesome.
we do."
That's
So,
how. That's awesome, though.
well, you found my secret out is that well, you know it already, but it's classes are just personal development, just sneakily crafted into the classes because it's teaching people to slow down, it's teaching people to have more patience, it's teaching people to have standards, to say no. People let people other people pet their dogs because they feel guilty about saying no to that person when if it was something else they'd be like, "Get hit the bricks, man. Get out of here." It was somebody but with your dog, they have no so I like that we teach, how to do that and and I was a trainer. I was already training for 11 years, and I got dog aggression. I built it all by myself. Those little classes at the club didn't help me at all. And our obedience is amazing. Gates's obedience, impeccable. He's my favorite dog to work obedience, and it's makes me sad that we can't do teach classes together really. But now we just live our best life. But it was, that wasn't what helped me. It helped me manage them. But once I started diving into me first, working on myself harder than I work on my dog. So I listen to Jim Rohn a lot, and he says, work on yourself harder than you work on your job. So everything that he talks about work and stuff, I just kind of turned it. And instead of job, I say dog. And man, boy, did that start working. And I'm like, and for myself. And then it just started leaking into other people. And I'm like, wow, if you stop worrying about the dog and you work on yourself being strong enough to say no at work. Like Alex saying no at work was my favorite thing ever. She's like, I've been saying no at work a lot more. And I was like, man, I love this conversation so much. She's like, no, it's been easy for me to say because it's funny, but we all find each other because we're people pleasers.
Yeah.
Makes me a
Yeah.
really good employee. People pleaser here.
It really is. It's just the psychology of it is insane to watch how much it does relate to the rest of your life. I mean, I, I never realized a dog, that comes right through to your dog, that nervousness, that wacky energy, that emotional energy, a lot of emotional energy. I feel I pushed on to my animals. So the ones you cry on, they're the ones you hug, they're the ones get to hear the bad day you had, all that good stuff. So
And it's okay, and that's the thing to really realize that just because that happened with your dog and you're in the place that you're at, or you've already come out of that kind of stuff, and me too, like that. What do you think I was doing? Why do you think we're all here? Because that's what I was doing, and that's why we talk about emotions so much, is because that's what got me here is my emotions leading. And that old saying that you look like your dog, and it's just a mirror of you. And I took it with a grain of salt. And then the deeper I get into this, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is insane. And now I'm addicted to new people coming in, watching, learning. I'm addicted to watching people out in the wild with their dogs. It's so interesting. And I'm just like, I don't care. People are like, and they've done that for years where you should go give your card to that person. And it's like, they're just nuts. And I'm like, absolutely not. One, they don't want a trainer. And if they do, they don't want to be solicited to. I'm not, no, thank you. I want someone that stalked me, found me. I've done enough of, peddling. I will train your dog for peanuts. Please, please, sir. I did
yeah.
all that stuff. And now I'm like, okay, there's enough people that want to do classes, and I'll be here and you can come, and it
I,
just works
I
out. And the best people.
just got to the point where I just couldn't get enough. It was like you're like every class you offered, everything you offered, I was like, I'm gonna go. Like I got to get. I just was like so fed up with his silliness, and that's all it was. It was just energy, and
Yeah. Feelings.
he
Feelings.
has a lot of feelings. He has a lot of feelings, but I had it too because I remember really my total turning point with him was we had them, put at a place on a cot, and we were to walk away from them, give them some space.
Yeah.
Everybody down the line was doing great. They were standing there having conversations with their other ladies, and people walking by, and everybody's dog was like crazy good. And two paws would hop off the cot, and I'd go back and put him back. And I'd get halfway back, and I'd be like, "He's going off again." I'm back on the cot, back, and he was just. It was a game, and he was having a great game, and I was falling right into the game of putting him back, putting him back, putting him back. Everybody else's dog was like freaking amazing, and my dog was an idiot. He was barking. I ended up taking him way down to the far side because I felt like he was like annoying everybody else. But now I know that's part of the game. But the guy in the corner, but so
I think it did you justice to go that far because it gave you a chance to just find the calm. And it's like a threshold, right? So when the dog goes to a certain point and then the craziness subsides and it's quiet, it means the dog is in a space he feels comfortable. Yes, that's true. But if you look a little deeper than that, that's where the human was able to let go of all the anxiety of being in that mess. No, it's so interesting. It's
I
ridiculous.
literally went home from that class crying. I was so upset at him. It wasn't you, it wasn't the other people. Nobody made a big deal about it. But in my head, it's like, what is wrong with this idiot? Like, what am I doing
Why
that
can't I get it
he
together?
isn't getting it? Like, why is this still a game, still a game, still a game? And it's so funny because I was so upset. And I went home and I went, this is so stupid. Why am I this upset over my dog won't get this? And I happened to come back. It was the same week, I believe, just later in the week. And I came back for another class and Chad was there. And I don't know whether you had talked to him or he just felt my angst or whatever. And you tried the different lead on him. And he took, he asked me, he said, do you mind if I take him? I'm like, take him, I'm done here. And he put the different lead on him. And you and I were speaking, talking, and he just took him out for a walk. And he came back and he was just walking by his side. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? But I think it's just that calm energy that I had to lose it on myself, lose it on the dog, whatever, and just that calm assertiveness, confidence. I don't know, assertiveness, confidence. I don't know what you want to call it, but I lost my calm. I had no more calm. Things were kind of crazy at home, crazy at my job, crazy, mom, whatever. And it was just, I know I was just feeding it all into to him, and it took somebody to take him away.
Yeah.
Not even 10 minutes. It wasn't even 10 minutes, and he came back, and I'm like, what'd you do? What'd you do to my dog? I like it. You keep him. You just keep him there. But
Chad's got that calmness to him. It's really interesting. I was thinking about this the other day that because I talk about Chad's calmness a lot. He's got a level of calmness that I have to try for. You know what I mean? And that's what he did. Like he's got a it's just that everyday life calmness. Like I'll be putting something together, an event and he'll come in and he'll make this little comment suggestion and it's like it cleans up and makes something so much better and easier and I'm like I could not see it. and and I know, and there's things that I have a different calmness and patience level too that he can't do. Like he's not a go to the store person or deal with a customer, someone at the store, you know what I mean, ask him questions or something like that. That's Chad's like, I'm out. All right. I don't need to know that bad, so that patience level, I guess, from serving for me is different. But everyday life stuff, I'm like a little bit bananas. I call it organized chaos. It's just bananas. And then he'll come in and it's just, it makes you just want to get him sometimes. I'm like, how do you do that? How do you do that? But and I have to just sit back and soak up that energy. And he says it's I'm trying to bleed it into my regular life and it's starting to work, but boy, it takes a long time. But I forgot about that. It was probably a mix where I had told him about you and he's got that radar, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, he can read the room pretty pretty easily. I feel. I don't know, but I definitely
Agreed.
needed that over the edge of. And I don't want to be that person yelling. Like I said before, I don't want to be that person yelling at your dog commands
Yeah.
repetition.
And it's
And
that's that age old where you're like, "Oh, when I get to the right tone, he knows I mean it." I mean, I that's classic what I used to say because I would be like, my first dog's name was Fred. Fred, 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 Fred. Fred, and I changed to this, and then he on that last one, he'd be like, "Oh, were you calling me?" And he'd come, and I'd be like, "Oh, he knows when I mean it." No, he knows that on other occasions, when I got to that tone, I went and got him and herded him. I've always herded my dogs in with my body before I knew about all the pressure stuff we do now. We naturally did it growing up. And maybe it's because we had so many dogs, I don't know. But um, I just didn't think about that. And it's like, okay, you say it once in your regular tone and then go get the dog. Don't say it more, 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 because then you'll get locked into that. Oh, it's so interesting that
well,
the
and
more
you gave me a really neat opportunity yesterday with Ash and her dogs, and they are really well behaved animals, or else I'm sure it wouldn't have went as good as it did. But they were just concentrated on where she was, and that's a dog. It
yeah,
wasn't going.
that was a real good opportunity that you did for her. That was
It's
really
just
good. I love
neat.
classes like that.
It's just
Small.
neat to realize like what I do that my dogs get that I don't even realize I'm doing it. And I'm like, oh, wait, no. Because like when you say, to stop, you do the 1, 2, 3 steps, but I always kind of skid my foot a little bit and it makes them like know that we're stopping. And I did it
Interesting.
intentionally in the beginning, like, because they weren't looking at me enough. They weren't paying attention to my movement. So when I skid my foot a little bit, they were like, "Oh, wait, we're stopping." And I didn't
Oh, I
realize
love
the
that.
little things I do with my hands and the little, like, oh,
Yeah.
when I go like that, that's that way or that way. And when you walk somebody else's dog, they're like, "What is wrong with you? What is wrong? How do
Right. Why
you-"
why do you think I know that? And that's so interesting. I think that's the thing I love the most is that it's not a, cookie cutter thing. It's a like there we have a roadmap, but then we find what fits with you. And I love everybody using their imagination and putting so I didn't know that you skid your foot there and then that works. And like I have little things like when I turn, I kind of put my hand up and that signals to Moki that we're turning in, we're turning left. And I started at the club, 20 years ago. Some trainer taught me that, and it's just stuck. And now I put it into to other things, and I really love that. I love that. I
Oh,
love hearing little things like that.
yeah, just little things like you said, turning your shoulder back, and they know we're starting to turn, and if they're not used to walking to you, you don't know their signals, and obviously I didn't know her signal, so it
Yeah,
was it was just a very eye-opening experience to do that last night. So that was kind of a neat opportunity to work with somebody else's dog, and I
yeah.
didn't doing things that I don't even realize I do that might that I
Yeah,
do,
and
but
that would probably and it helps to real I think working with another dog makes you realize that you are doing those things, and, not even intentional, and then it shows another dog doesn't know it, and sharing that with other people, right? Like Ash has changed tremendously with her dogs this year. And Debbie and Hank and, man, Julie and Byron there were killing it. So I really like that we had that little group and we're able to and I think that's one thing I love about the tribe too is being able to switch dogs. And the club is getting to the point now, everybody's almost to the tribe in the club now, to where they'll be able to start doing that kind of stuff. I love raising the levels with everybody. Everybody's starting to like leave their dogs and do more of the off leash stuff. And it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat to watch like the progression.
you're a good person to read the owner and the dog, because we, ask you, is he ready to take the group walks? Is he ready to, and you don't push anybody before you think they're ready. And I think that's
Right.
so important. Like, you really should be out on our group walks because of this, this, and this. You're like, it's there. It's again one of those things you're gonna get out of it, whatever you want to put into it. So if you think you're gonna sit back and do the cookie cutter class, like I started before COVID hit, and then I let a whole year go by before. Well, I didn't have any much choice because of COVID, but I had him signed up at a class in a regular pet place where they gave me a book and we did a class for a half an hour, and you sat with all these other dogs in a very small area and they jumped all over each other and they were all barking and you couldn't really hear what the instructor was saying. And here's your book and go ahead and read it and we'll do the next chapter next week. And I'm like, okay. Okay. I mean, not against them. If that works for somebody, that's great. It just wasn't what I needed. I needed somebody to. The obedience part is great. People need that
Yeah.
part.
You can learn that anywhere. You could YouTube that. That's the thing. Like everybody, you can YouTube, you can go to a little dog club for $100 for 6 classes, and you can learn some amazing stuff from some really talented humans. But I needed somebody to help me with, like, everyday stuff, like the vet is a
Cons.
nightmare. I go to the vet and my dog wants to attack dogs in the waiting room. How do I do that? And walking in my neighborhood is a nightmare. Having guests over, even just my parents coming over. My parents come over like this. Oh, puppies. La, 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 la. And my dogs are everywhere. And I'm just like, oh. And when your parents are getting older, you just are like, yes, okay, this is the way my life is, okay, this is the way it is, and they're not helping you get better, you know what I mean? So it just trickles into this snowball effect, and I wasn't getting help with that, and I really wanted to build something that would have helped me.
Yeah.
Something what so every time it's like, "Oh, I woulda liked that." Kinda like looking at kids with all, like, the fancy toys. I'm like, "This is kinda bullshit, man." We I didn't have no like, cars you could drive on the street and different things like this. I'm like, "I kinda wanna get in one of those little Jeeps and drive around." I'm just saying. But so, you
Got
know
one. I got one. John Deere. Come on.
don't be surprised if I'm sitting on there, riding that thing, but it's I love the community where it's just becoming more and more of a little unity kinda thing, and we're getting cooler and cooler people. I think because you gotta do the work and the different level and it's crazy the different levels. So if everybody doesn't know how our levels work, it's kinda confusing, right? You can come in to the tryouts and take a couple classes and just see if it fits. And then there's the community class, and that's the community. That's like you take some classes, you're in the community. If your dog doesn't have reactivity and stuff, you're welcome on walks. And if they have reactivity, you might have worked up to walks by now. And then you can stay and join the club. And the club, the Calm Club. So you might see the Calm Club everywhere. That's Melina's club because Melina, I was so busy working on my stuff with aggression with Gates that I missed a lot of Melina was so good. She was a teacher. She was just so good. She wasn't causing any problems. So it was I didn't she was the classic lab, you know? And I missed it. And now she's 14, almost 14 years old, and there's little things she doesn't know how to settle. If me and the girls are cleaning or organizing and stuff, she's all up in the middle, like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? And it's not bothering us. It's looking at it a little deeper as my 14-year-old dog who would rather be laying down on the dog bed is mentally not okay with all the commotion. And she's so anxious that she needs to be in the middle of it. And Gates, we did so much work that he's in his bed going, you guys done cleaning yet? Yeah, I'm gonna take this nap. Where Melina is like, so I have Ash and Bobby really watch Melina. I really want you to soak this up. It's not about doing something wrong. It's about teaching your dog now that is one day gonna be a senior how to senior, how to relax, how to not worry about stuff, how to not be scared about that loud sound, or how to not. Melina does not want me to help her out of the car. So Gates and me, I need to take a video of this. Gates and me, like he'll jump with me if I have him, and I kind of launch him out of the car or the bed or whatever we do. Melina, it's like wrangling a hog because she wants to go and then she's gone and then she's back and then she's over and I'm just like I have to like grab her and then she's bucking everywhere and it's a comedy show just to get her out of the car, off the bed, off the couch, whatever it is. She has little landing pads and she's been on the couch her whole life. So convincing an old person that they shouldn't do things, good luck. I help him hang out with my dad a lot. I can't convince him that he shouldn't be doing things. And Melina's been on the couch. So she's, even though she can't get on the couch by herself all the time, most of the times, she'll get up halfway and then she'll look and be like, you know, the
Somebody pick
service
up
at this
the
hotel is
foot.
so like, could you get, but she's uneasy. And that to me is enough reason to work on calmness when your dog is young so that when they're old, it's just embedded. So the things that I practice with Melina, like she knows not to walk in the street. We can go out front off leash. She will not step in the gutter, not one toe. And she's 14, blind, can't see, smell her still good. Will not one toe, Patty, because it was important to me.
Yeah.
So if you make relaxing and learning to be calm important to you, it'll be important to the dog and it just trickles. It's crazy, you know. So like I'm pro senior and we've seen what Knox was 10 and now I think he's 12, maybe 13 now. And he changed a lot. Like he was able to go to parties and relax and he was reactive as hell, you know, and so it was neat to see a senior do that. Oh, it just makes my heart just pound with this. I just love you, Patty. I'm so glad you did this interview with us.
You are family, so
Yeah.
you're in the inner circle. So sorry, so you're stuck with us. No,
No, you're stuck with me. And that's kind of what it is. Like, and you can come, it kind of is intimidating because it's like some people are like, I'm not looking for friends. I'm not looking to be in this weird cult thing you have going on. And the funny part is you don't have you don't have to be in the cult. And the cult gets cultier as you get up. It gets like family, the tribe's like family, the club, because you're with each other for a year or more. And you got know, like, and trust. You're starting to get those three things to where you trust, you know the person, they're there every week, you see what they can do with their dog. You see they're working with their dog. They see the dog's changing. Suddenly, you trust your dog around their dog. You trust decisions they make. It's different things. And then you can stand in that group and not talk to anybody, and no one will care. No one will
I
try to
do.
talk to you.
Yeah,
I mean, they'll say hi and stuff, but they're not going to be like, that John, he never talks to anybody. He's a real jerk. They'll be like, John doesn't talk, whatever. And then it's so, I don't know what's the word. Like you don't have to commit to being friends with anybody. So it's so relaxed that you end up being friends with somebody or everybody because everybody's just so laid back. It's really crazy. I couldn't have thought this up if I tried. I never thought
it is
it was
really,
this.
honestly, kind of you know, some people are very standoffish. I usually would just kind of stay back a little bit, but once you get me started, but can't shut me off. But I could have a terrible, terrible day at work, and I really look forward to going to taking my dogs and going. Like that's just like I don't care. It was an effed up day. I can't wait. Just give me the leashes. Let's go. I'm tired, but give me my sneakers and we're out the door and get the dogs and let's go. But even I've gotten there and I'm still stewing about something and things are going in my mind 90 miles an hour. And I thought about it the other day and everybody, I walked up and everybody kind of smiled and but I wasn't in the mood to talk. And you don't feel pressured to have to talk. And that's the part I like, you just kind of, I just came up, I wanted to do my thing and people let you do your thing. Or, I came up and right away we started conversation, a different, it, people don't judge you. And that's the bottom line. So that's what I
Yeah.
really like. If you come in and you just had a bad day, you just want to be there with her. I just want to be with her, my dog just sleep. And people do. They know, like you said, everybody has their boundaries. We have our limits. We know, who to. You can just
Like
come
you
in and
said, read the room. I
yeah,
think everybody's learning to read the room.
yeah.
There's nothing I hate more than when I would be at work and I was in a bad mood or having a bad day, and I just needed a half an hour, 10 minutes of just nobody bugging me. I just 10 minutes, my goodness. And then somebody is like, "What's wrong? What are you doing? Tell me. Oh, what's wrong?" Man, just get away from me. Because it just sends you worse. If you just leave me alone, I'll come out of it and then I'll be good. And if I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it, but not like get get ugh, yeah.
No,
That's no good.
no, I do feel that's the best part of your class. Like you don't feel pressured to have to share your life story with anybody, but yet I've made some amazing connections with some really amazing people. Like it's just some of your folks, most of your folks, nine tenths of your folks are really just so cool, and you hope to do stuff with them. Like when
Yeah,
you get into the bigger groups, going out to dinner and taking all these dogs, and the waiters are like, "Really? We're going to put 15 people over there with dogs? Like this is terrible." They put us way out that one time at Dog Forge because they didn't want us to bother anybody, and then the
yeah,
waiters were like, "This is amazing. Like we don't even know you guys are here. What's going on?"
yeah,
That makes you just feel so good about, hey, we can take, I do, want to take my dogs places and I don't want them to be idiots. So
yeah.
you've got us to that point where I can even take Rip places and he's not a jerk. So,
We got a
yeah.
2-year-old cattle dog able to do stuff in town, and if you don't live in St. Pete, it is very high traffic dog, very high traffic dogs. There's just they're everywhere, everywhere, and no one has manners or boundaries. So that's a big thing that I think that we teach at class is like it's not about class. The exercises are we're doing them and we're learning stuff for them, but it's not what we're there for. We're there for like, did you see the new person walking in? Did you notice them? Did they walk right up to you and you didn't move when you should have? Yeah. So if you got someone that's like, I'm here with my dog, and and it doesn't matter what I tell people, hey, give people space. Hey, don't walk into the group. I mean, I do what I can, and we just have to have our eyes peeled, right? And then here they come. So I've taught everybody in class that if someone's coming up to you and not giving the proper space or boundaries, you need to move. You need to move. You need to move. Just like we're women. We go out to the bar, want to have a drink with our girlfriend, and there's a slimy dude on the other side of the bar, and he's going around and he's hitting on that lady and that lady and that dude and that lady and that, right? And then we know it's only a matter of time before they get to us. So we could be like, "Hey, Patty, you want to go play darts? Weren't we going to play darts? That's right. We should go play darts." And we leave before that person even gets to us, right? So it's starting to learn to read the room, starting to be self aware. Notice that person has zero control over their dog, and you can't change that, but you can choose to move away. And there's a difference between running away from every dog, which is a thing, right? Where you see a dog and you're like, oh shit. And you go, let's go this way. I've lived that life. And that's a whole different thing to learn to get away from that. But there's another thing when you go, I was trying to walk past the hardest dogs in my neighborhood to to learn to grow. Well, you know what I need to learn? To walk past calmly past just a lab that's not doing anything. Let's start there. No, no, no. I'm going to start with 3 golden retrievers in a fence where they're fighting in the yard, jumping, almost jumping over the fence. And my dog's like, Gates is like, what the hell is happening? He's losing his shit, right? So, like, that's what I was trying to work. And in my head, until I beat that, I wasn't a dog trainer. I couldn't do this. It was, and then, oh man, what a nightmare. But the more I got into it, that was like, okay, that's Mount Everest. People die on Mount Everest and are frozen to the mountain because they did not prepare enough. So, like, we need to get on our rock wall. We need to learn how to put our harnesses on. Like, those are the first steps. And I just completely jumped over those and went straight into my aggression stuff. And it was like, that's why it's hard. Until I backed up, it was hard. And that's, I love the outskirts. Hey, if you're driving to class and your dog's an idiot in the car, don't come to class. Spend that class. Don't check in. Don't pay me. Spend that class working on your dogs. Ride to the class. Come at the end of the class and be like, "Hey, we made it. It took me all night, but we made it." And he didn't jump up or jump out of the car or whatever it is, right? And then the next couple times it's going to be easier. And then the car ride there is easy, and you knock that out. And we just keep knocking little things out. And that's why long term works, because Patty, there's so much stuff. So
Yeah. And like you said before, well, I heard somebody else say it. It wasn't even you. It's like, you're doing this training how long? Like, like what's
when are you done?
the well, and it's funny, but my goals have changed. My goals used to be, before I knew
For a
better,
rip.
it was like, wouldn't it be nice to be off leash and just be able to walk wherever I want to walk and that dog be there and da 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 da. Now it's like, that's the last thing on my mind. Like, that's yeah, we will walk off leash and he can, the both of them are really pretty good at staying at my side, but I would never do it at a park where there was a million animals, or, you pick and choose where you can do it and where they'll be safe, I'll be safe. I
Yeah.
see people off leash, and that's just a huge red flag to me. It's like, well, okay, shoot, they got that stupid bungee leash or whatever on them that zips out, or stay away from that. And that dog, and Julie at class yesterday, she spotted a dog that was off leash, being great, it had its frisbee, doing its own thing, which was fine. That was great. He was doing great. But she alerted us to, hey, dog off leash over there.
Right.
Then I didn't see it. It was dark, and but she had
I
seen
didn't
it.
see it till the end. I didn't see
Yeah,
it till the end.
I totally did, and it's something that you've taught us to try to be more aware of, and I
Self-aware.
I
Yeah, you
am.
guys have helped me at class many times to where I'm busy teaching and you guys keep your eyes peeled when we're doing different exercises and stuff, and that I always appreciate that.
Well, they're animals, and I just feel like no matter how well they're trained, it's great. But like, you put a squirrel running across, then they're animals. There's still an instinct to take off, and I don't I don't need that. I don't need that.
Right, Loki is going to go after the bunny. She went after a bunny just, and it's like just the other night. Kristen says the zip lines. I've been we've been having an argument, not argument, discussion, me and Kristen. Kristen keeps me on my toes because she makes me think about what my answers are and what why my reasonings, and she keeps me on my toes. I love her so much. So because I've always been I hate zip lines too. And then but they have their uses. I believe they have their uses. I have 2 senior dogs and we use them all the time. Now I can take Gates for a little walk early in the morning and he can get his sniffs in and we can kind of do our off leash things without being off leash. So I see for those pieces maybe a dog on an apartment, going to pee, it's 2 in the morning, little things like that. And but this was my new argument. We're not all Kristen's pretty above and beyond. We agree with
Yes,
that. She looked at me like, "You're crazy." I was like, "Girl, you are not normal. You are definitely above average." There, but there's a lot of averages people in the world and below, right? And there needs to be a system for those people to keep us safe so that they can have some off leash time without the just let them go because the other people are more irresponsible just letting the damn dog go. So it's like a double-edged sword. They're used improperly, but man, some people, thank goodness they have them on that because can you
yeah.
imagine they letting him
Oh,
go?
yeah. I don't need the little poodle running up to my dogs. I really don't.
Yeah.
So,
I'm waiting for Kristen's reply or the response to this. Oh, Patty, I just love you. Okay, so let's do our last question. Let's see. So if it was somebody new coming to class and they were nervous and unsure if our classes were right for them or if they were embarrassed at their dog or maybe they didn't fit in, what advice would you have for them?
just that this is a total non-judgment zone. Nobody's at the same point. Everybody had their struggle. Everybody had a different struggle. Kristen is amazing with her dog. I just sit in awe at how she works those shepherds, and it's just freaking amazing. This small, young, beautiful lady is just has power in those shepherds that could knock
Badass.
anyone. She's badass.
Badass.
But she's as friendly as can. I don't see anybody at your class that is unfriendly. Everybody is totally approachable, and any questions, there's just not a question that I don't think anybody's afraid to ask you because you don't make anybody feel stupid. Like, seriously, why are you asking me that? Like, just be yourself. Let the dog go through his stages. They're going to be stupid. They're going to have a bad day. You're going to have a bad day. It happens. Take a deep breath. Don't go home crying. It'll be okay. And just, it takes time. And is there a timeline for anybody? I don't think that's possible because even Two Paws is now getting older. There's different struggles. There's different things that we need to work on. So no, there's not a timeline. No, there isn't a 6 month have to have that done by then. Some people it's going to take a year. Some people get it in 2 months. There's not, because I have had a lot of people say, well, when are you going to be done with these dog tests? But it's a
Which we
way of
love.
life. It's a way of life. It's a journey. It's
Because you got dogs for like 16 years, you
and if
know?
you're okay with letting them romp, that's good for you. But when you want more out of your dog, you want them to be able to take out to your property and let them run on 5 acres and call and they come back. That's good.
Gold,
That's me.
gold, man. Kristen's laughing. I think she's Patty.
She's amazing.
Your words are beautiful. She's crying, smiling. You're a
Oh,
huge role model for EK9. Yes, you are. You
Yeah.
definitely are. You both are. You both are. It's amazing to watch you. Like, it was really amazing to watch you work Luna last night. That's what I was trying to make sure Ash understood how special that was to have a tribe member come and work her other dog and be able to work them next to each other and just kind of, dig into that onion. And I love that you said that too, is because you're going to have different things that are from a puppy to a middle-aged dog, a teenager to an adult to a senior. And it's kind of just like everything. It's all attacking all the edges, home, life, when you're on your walk, when you're at the vet, when you're here, what's it like when you go there, you know? Oh, I love you so much, Patty. Are
Uh,
you you're coming to we're doing a crab seafood boil. You're coming
yes.
to that though, right? Yes. And then so I don't have a post for that one yet. We already have about 20 people. I think I have about 10 that I have to
Okay.
figure out. And so that is going to be January 6th. It is a Saturday. So if you're interested in doing that, just message me. If you're in the club or in the community and want to come, it's a dog free event. So it doesn't matter if your dog has struggles, or maybe if you just want to come and hang out with us because we're super cool, whatever. That'll be on the 6th, like in the afternoon. We'll have class that morning, but it'll be after New Year. I thought it would be fun to get together and do like a little kind of like a little holiday party, and see everybody. We won't be having classes the last 2 weeks of the year, so it'll be a little reunion. Yay. All right, you got anything to add? I think that was a great little chat.
I just really enjoyed it. Thanks for everything. You have really changed my lifestyle because otherwise, I just it was getting impossible. I would have never gotten a second dog.
Yeah, you wouldn't have Rip.
Maybe this is good and bad. I don't know. Like that. But I just
I
want to
think it's good.
thank you guys because you have been like exceptional and like I said, part of the family. You're part of the
I
family.
Yeah, I feel the same way about you. I think Rip was a good thing. I mean, it put us all like made us nervous at first. Be like, oh, Patty's got to pull out a magic trick for this one. But I think it made you just like Two Paws. You had to dig deep and do it because you're not getting rid of Rip. That ain't happening. And you know what I mean? And it's just like Gates and aggression and having Moki, right? I didn't get a chocolate lab. I got two Aussies, a pit bull, a cattle dog, like I didn't get any of those, and because I needed more lessons. There were things that I hadn't learned about myself yet, and I needed a different dog to pull that out. And I'm lucky enough to understand that my dog is capable of doing that. And those that I can convince that that is possible, man, I latch on to them and be like, you have no idea that if you just concentrate on this, it'll change your entire life without trying. It's crazy. You think about some of the people and we've had like 3 different people lose so much weight that you don't even recognize them anymore.
Seriously.
Seriously, it's insane. It's like just different, different runners and this and that. It's yeah. The community is wonderful. So if you want to come to the 100 birthday walk for Patty's mom, message me. That's on January 13th. It's at 8:15 a.m. We're going to meet at Crisp Park. There's a link for it on Facebook, but you can message me and I can send it to you or whatever. And we're going to walk to mom's house. Kelly's kids, she's a teacher. So her students and other people's students are making like all these signs for us to bring mom with talking about 100 and dogs and different things. So we're going to have lots of fun things to do too. And then the seafood boil is in the afternoon on the 6th. I haven't made the reservation yet. So get with me if you want to be on the reservation list for that. And let's see, do we have any more? Bonnie. Okay, you kids made me sigh. Mom wouldn't hear what you were talking about because made me sing. Oh, good. Don't ruin the surprise. When you go again.
That's funny. She's with mom
Sorry, we didn't mean to
tonight.
ruin it. Okay. Well, we love you. Love you, Patty. We will see you hopefully for
Yeah.
class tomorrow. If it's
Okay.
raining, it's supposed to rain all night. We're going to, if it's not raining too hard, we're still going to meet under the pavilion and have a rain day for the morning. So, but our walk looks like it'll probably be canceled. So just a heads up for that. Maybe we'll rebook a Christmas light walk before the end of the year. Okay. Love you, Patty. Thanks for doing this.
Love you. Thank
Love
you.
you. Bye. I'll see you in the morning.
See ya.